Okay, good morning everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and before we begin our meeting today, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 1 territory, and the land on which we gather is traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Oji-Cree, the Dakota, and the Dene people, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. And with that, the other thing I would like to do is welcome all the students here this morning. I'm glad you could come out, and I know this is the second class that's here. This one looks a little smaller than the first one, yeah. So we're going to go through some of our agenda, and if there's any questions, we will leave time at the end if there's any questions from the students, and we'll try and answer them for you. How long are you here, Rita?
Just till about 10.
Till about 10? Okay. Yeah. All right, so with that, I would just like to say that all members of council are here with the exception of Councillor Horbus, who's coming in a little bit late this morning. We do have our CAO, Deepak Joshi, with us, and we also have our Manager of Administration and Planning, Heather Stanek, with us this morning. So with that, I will call for a resolution to adopt the agenda, please.
Resolved, the agenda for the meeting be adopted as circulated with the noted additions: communication for action, promoting Aboriginal student success, graduation ceremony, 5.3, that's 5.4, promoting Aboriginal student success, crystal celebration luncheon, and 5.5, Red River Polytech graduation ceremony, as well as communication for information, 11.9.3, Southern Chiefs Organization main newsletter.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, second. Councillor Strang, any further discussion or additions or anything else that needs to be amended on the agenda? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. The next item we have are confirmation of minutes, and we do have 3 sets of minutes of our recent meetings, so I will ask for the resolution for that, please.
Before we get to the resolution, Madam Mayor, I'd like to address the point is that the minutes have been updated from when they were published, as well as for the financial budget open house. There was some typo errors on a couple of the items. On the financial budget open house, it was specifically showing Councillor Boulanger attending as well as absent, so we corrected that. And for the regular meeting of council, what we've identified in there is there was one item that was laid over by council, and the corresponding resolutions were not addressed and will be addressed at the next meeting of council, so we just corrected that.
Okay, thank you for that.
So for the confirmation of the minutes, resolve the minutes of April 24th, 2023 financial plan budget open house of April 25th, 2023 regular meeting of council, and a May 2nd financial plan hearing be adopted as presented.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, second. Councillor Sutherland. Any further discussion or corrections or amendments to those 3 sets of minutes? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll move down to number 5 on our agenda, which is communication for action. And the first one we have is the Gordon Howard Center, the community conversation. I guess they are wanting to have the community come together, and they are looking at building a new center for the seniors, and they want some input from the community. So I don't know, I know I haven't sent my feed over this one. I am not going to be able to go to. I do have something else that day, so I'm not sure who else is able to go to this, but I think it's important that we do have someone from council there to participate. I know our economic development officer will be there, but I thought it would be good to have a member or two from council also. So I'm not sure what Heather has there, or
sure, Madam Mayor, it's identified for June 5th.
Right.
And for the Gordon Howard Center, we haven't identified anyone yet, so we can.
Councillor Horbus usually likes going to that.
Pardon me?
Councillor Horbus usually likes going to that. He said last time he was here. I'm not sure what his thoughts are.
Yeah, well, maybe we can just look at it again a little bit later in the meeting once Councillor Horbus is here. Like I say, I can't attend. I have something going on that day already, so I'll have to pass on this one. I would have have liked to go because usually those are, I've been to a couple of them when they were having the other discussions on, I can't remember what it's called now. I think Councillor Spicer, you were interested in that, the community, the different types of housing and having the community brought together. And I just quite can't remember what they call that.
The vital signs.
Vital signs, right, and that was pre-pandemic, so it's been a while since they've gotten together. Good morning.
Morning, sir, I'm late.
That's okay, that's okay, we were just talking about you.
Oh, okay.
The
We've got a
first,
few meetings to go to.
one of the items we looked at was the Gordon Howard Center, the community conversation, and it is on June the 5th, and we were wondering if you might be interested in going to
Yeah,
that.
if I'm here, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Okay, so we'll pass the resolution for Councillor Horvis to
Yeah.
attend. So, resolved, Councillor David Horvis be authorized to attend the Gordon Howard Center Community Conversation at the Gordon Howard Active Living Center on June 5th, 2023.
can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, Councillor Bazarowitz seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And I was just going to say, if anybody else decides that they would like to attend or are able to attend, then just let Deepak know and we can bring a resolution forward at the next meeting, because it is a little ways away, but they did send it to us. The next one we have is the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, the June District meeting. And this one is open to everybody. I'm not sure who is interested in going. It is on Friday, June the 16th, and it is in Richer, Manitoba. Any questions, comments?
I'm gonna try to make it there.
Okay, Councillor Spicer?
Yeah, we do have a few resolutions going to that meeting, so we
Correct.
need
We will
some
need some attendance.
representation.
Yeah, yeah. Heather, do you have council
Yes, we
member? Do you? Okay.
Question,
Go ahead, Rob.
if anybody's attended the June District 4, is it later in the day that they would go through those resolutions? Is it at the beginning of the day? Is it like when?
Kind of, I think midway, like I thought that they had a draft agenda. No, it's not on there yet.
No, it's not, just
Might
on,
be on the website.
Still be house.
Yeah.
I'll call it then. I'll
It's
watch.
usually kind of in the middle of the, right after lunch maybe, because I know they have some presentations and then they have the service pins that are given to elected officials and, they usually have a couple of other presentations and resolutions and, yeah. So, okay, if we could have a resolution, please.
Resolve Mayor Feeble-Corn and Councillors Glenn Basarowicz, Sandra Strang, Scott Spicer, Robert Belanger be authorized to attend the AMM Eastern District meeting at the Richard Young at Hearts Club in Richard, Manitoba on June 16th, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Sutherland seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Go ahead, Councillor Horvath.
So I put maybe here, because if I'm here, so it's okay if we show up, or what? Or should we be on this resolution? Is there a fee for it, or?
That one there is, it's minimal, but what I would suggest, if you do decide that you're gonna go, or even if you go and don't have a resolution, we can always pass the resolution after the fact.
Okay, thank you.
We have done that in the past, and sometimes it just works out that way, because you're not sure, and then at the last minute, you decide that you're able to go, so you do go, and then we can do the resolution. Okay, the next item on our agenda is promoting Aboriginal student success with the graduation ceremony. And that is on May 31st. And I'm not sure that I can attend this one, because I think that is the same time as Red River Basin having their gathering a small conference in Gimli. I think those are the days, is that correct, Councillor Strang? 31st and the 1st of June?
Yes.
So I will not be able to go to feel that it is important that we have representation at the graduation ceremony for the past students, so I would ask that someone from council please attend to represent the municipality.
Again, if I'm here, I'll go.
Okay, you're not sure if you're gonna be here.
Just-
And I'll try.
You'll try and go,
I'll go.
okay, so we'll put both the names in the resolution and hopefully one of you gentlemen can go and represent council. I think the last time I was there, again, it's been a couple of years since they've had it, so I think the last time I was there, it was just to observe, like, I didn't have to get up and speak or anything like that, so. Okay, so, yeah, go ahead.
So, resolved, Councillor David Horvis and David Sutherland be authorized to attend the Promoting Aboriginal Student Success graduation ceremony at the Lord Selkirk Regional Comprehensive School in Selkirk, Manitoba on May 31st, 2023.
Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Strang, seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Now, the next one we have is the Promoting Aboriginal Student Success on the Crystal Celebration on June 17. This one I will attend. I don't think I have anything on that day. And if there's anybody else that wishes to attend, that would be great. Anybody else? I'm not sure if Heather has anything from
We
anyone.
don't have any other councillors.
Okay, I will definitely be there.
Yeah, I'm too,
If you're here on the 17th, okay.
So resolved, Mayor Thibault-Corn and Councillor David Horvis be authorized to attend the Promoting Aboriginal Student Success Crystal Celebration Luncheon at the Lord Selkirk Regional Comprehensive School, Selkirk, Manitoba on June 17, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Boulanger, second. Councillor Bazarowicz, discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, and the last one is the Red River Polytech, and that one is on June the 8th. And this one is at the con, and I don't recall being invited to this one before, or if it's something new. I'm not sure when it started. It's new? Okay, so is there any interest from any members of council? Okay, maybe what we can do is we can, I guess they do want to reply by May the 26th, and I believe that our next meeting is on May the 23rd, so we might be able to bring it back for that day if we'll have a look at it and see if there is any interest to attend.
Sure. Okay, so we'll lay this over till the next meeting of council.
Correct. Okay, so that takes us to, do you want to do the accounts, or are we going to do the new and other business?
We can certainly do the new and other business, Madam Mayor, and there's 3 items identified in here. We do have the resolutions ready. If you'd like, we can discuss some of them later in camera, as the Gaynor Family Library does require discussions regarding financial matters, which
Right.
are in camera.
Yeah.
The subdivision and variation joint applications, as per council's direction, I did look it over and haven't made any changes. I had a discussion with Red River Planning, and it seems reasonable to submit that application at this point.
Okay, so,
So, and to the Selkirk and St. Clements Bridge Committee, that was another one that if council would like to discuss it further, or would you like to just go over the resolution, and then we can discuss it afterwards?
maybe we can do the resolution and discuss it afterwards. I mean, we've been trying to get this committee going for quite some time now, and now that we have an indication that there will be some work done on our Lee Bridge in the next couple of years, or in 2 years from now, I think now would be the time to try and get our neighbors to get together with us and have a conversation on the bridge itself and the work that's proposed to be done there. Councillor Boulanger and then Councillor Spicer.
Yes, we talked about this in the past. I'm wondering, Mr. Administrator, was there more conversations you may have had with the folks in the city to bring this up in forefront, or was it just something you wanted to catch up to sort of get it?
I've had discussions in the past already with the CAO from the City of Selkirk, and he was interested in establishing the committee. And so since now what we have is a formal report from the province of Manitoba that's identifying the works to be done for the expansion of the Selkirk Bridge, although it's a couple of years away, this would be a good time for us to establish the committee. So I prepared a resolution that kind of addresses those things, which gives us an opportunity to work. And the resolution is asking for the administration to get together with the administration of the City of Selkirk to look at establishing a committee. It doesn't mention any specific names at this point.
Great, I just wanted to make sure that, they were on board there, and it sounds like they are, so.
So, do we want to bring the resolution forward now, or do we need further discussion on it? Bring it forward? Go ahead. Oh, sorry, Councillor Spicer, go ahead.
So I'm not opposed to getting a committee together. It does look like it's a 5-year project, though. The way they have it listed here, it's not going to be finished till 27.
Yes, I noticed that most of these projects that they've identified in the report give them the flexibility all the way up to
Probably,
2027.
yeah.
And it depends on the priorities, because they've also identified the roundabout at Lockport as going into 2027, but they've given us indication they're going to be moving faster than that.
One more last comment?
Go ahead.
We're gonna go through, I think we're gonna go through the resolution.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just glad that it says the Blue Bridge and doesn't refer to it as the Selkirk Bridge, because it's really not. It's
The
a
Selkirk.
provincial bridge.
That's
It's not the Selkirk. We all say it, but it's a provincial bridge.
Yes, yes,
So, great.
you're absolutely right. Okay, go ahead and read the resolution. We'll bring it forward and see where it goes.
So before I come to 6.3, regarding 6.1, if you've seen the resolution, are you comfortable with me addressing it now, or do we come back to it?
If you would like to address it now and council is prepared to do so, we can bring it forward now.
Okay, I'll get started on the first one. So, whereas, to meet the growing needs of the community, the library board has proposed an expansion plan for the library, which includes increasing the facility's square feet and expanding the collection items. And whereas the library board has also proposed a capital campaign for the construction of the expanded facility, which will require additional operating funds from library partners. Therefore, be it resolved that the Arma St. Clement support the expansion plan for the Gaynor Family Library and a capital campaign for its construction. And be it further resolved that the Arma St. Clements recommends no change to the percentage calculations in the current agreement for a per capita cost to the library partners until further details can be understood by all partners and is fair based on usage by their residents.
Thank you. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowick, second. Councillor Strang. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, so the next one we have is the subdivision variation applications.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is in dealing with subdivision applications where we receive subdivision applications, and sometimes there's some minor variances for lot size or some minor widths. And what Red River Planning has requested that this be put forward to the AMM to request for the province to be able to, when there are minor variations or as part of the subdivision, that it can be just considered as a joint application as opposed to seeing them as individual applications. And possibly not have to have, and whereby saving our residents and costs for applying for 2 applications. So they're requesting for a resolution from the RMs that work in Red River Planning, and we can certainly put this forward. This still does not negate the fact that you can still have both of those applications come forward as council is directed as we move forward until this becomes more built into the Planning Act to allow for dealing with these regularly. So if you're okay with that, I will read the resolution. Whereas when the subdivision land proposed with lots that do not meet the minimum zoning bylaw width and or area requirements, a variance approval is required as a condition of subdivision approval. And whereas both subdivisions and variance applications are reviewed by the local municipal council, making this effectively a dual approval process, which is both redundant and inefficient. Therefore, be it resolved that the Road Municipality of St. Clements lobby the AMM to request the province of Manitoba refine the Planning Act in order to make the subdivision approval process more efficient by removing the requirement for variance approval when proposed lots do not meet the minimum zoning bylaw width and/or area requirement.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, Councillor Horvath seconds, discussion. Go ahead, Councillor Boulanger.
Any idea how long this might take to go through the process of getting to municipal? Are we talking like a long, we always hope it moves through, but
Right.
is it something that, I guess we're gonna have to track, right?
Well, I think it depends on how hard perhaps AMM lobbies on our behalf, if that's where it's going,
Okay.
and yeah. And I think we can do some of our own lobbying too. so.
Good, thank you.
Go ahead, Deepak.
So to answer that question, when AMM or the RM lobbies the country government to make a change, but this is a change to the act, the planning act itself, which can take anywhere from a year to
Many.
maybe
5 years, isn't that the policy now, 5 years?
5 years is a review of the overall development plan.
Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
I have a question and a request, I guess. Does the CAO plan on attending the June district meeting?
It's on June,
June 16th.
yes, I do.
Okay, and even though I know the CAO doesn't necessarily like doing this, I would suggest that he should speak to this resolution at the meeting because of his background and can explain it better.
I will have to check to see if the CAO is allowed to speak at the AMM resolutions.
You are.
Certainly.
Yeah, and I guess the comment that I would have on that would be, probably the best is to have yourself as the CAO speak to it, but I also know that it's very frustrating, like we had one at our last meeting, the subdivision was passed 3 months ago and now they're coming for the variation order. It's frustrating all around, it's frustrating for us, it's frustrating for the applicant because there's additional costs, not that there wouldn't be, because I'm sure that they'll not double the cost, but there will be additional costs for the variation as compared, in addition to the subdivision cost, but at least it's all paid out once, and they don't have to come back here twice. Go ahead, Councillor Belanger.
You talked about those two frustrations. I think one of the bigger ones is when our chamber fills up from confused ratepayers who see it 3 months later and didn't see it the first time and think there's something nefarious going on when really there's not. So if we can curtail even that,
Yeah.
I would be grateful.
Well, and I think too, the other thing is, and we know that on some of the subdivisions, there is no public hearing required if it's just a 2-lot split and there's no roads being built or anything like that. But maybe their area or the width is not according to the zoning bylaw. So we pass the subdivision, there's no public hearing because it all fits the criteria. But because if they're short of width of the property, it has to come back for a variation, and that's when the notices go up, and that's when the neighbors realize that, hey, there's something going on here. Why weren't we notified to begin with when the subdivision was filed? But yet that's the provincial rules, and I think that really needs to be looked at too. It's good that they don't have to when there's only a 2-lot split, but at the same time, I still think perhaps neighbors should be notified.
It's after the fact, there's nothing that they can really do.
No, there isn't, so,
There's nothing that we can do really either.
no, so. Okay, do we have a resolution? Did we go through that one, or?
Yes, we did.
Okay, go ahead, Councillor
I'll move
Spencer.
it.
I thought we had a mover or a seconder. We have a mover and a seconder.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we're just having the vote then? Okay, have a mover, have a seconder, we've had some discussion, so I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried.
Whereas the province of Manitoba has identified the need for the rehabilitation of the bridge known as the Blue Bridge over the Red River on PR 204, which is Henderson Highway, which was constructed in 1935 and provides the main access from the east side of the Red River to the city of Selkirk. And whereas the bridge structure is 88 years old and its rehabilitation is necessary to maintain its level of service, support trade and commerce, and improve public safety and level of service. And whereas the Arm of St. Clements is committed to ensuring the safe and efficient operation of the Blue Bridge, therefore be it resolved, the Arm of St. Clements work with the city of Selkirk to establish a committee consisting of council representatives from each of the municipalities of the city of Selkirk and the Arm of St. Clements, including residents from each of the respective municipalities. And furthermore, be it resolved that the committee shall be responsible to help identify for the province of Manitoba any concerns or issues raised by residents in regards to highway safety and service level improvements for public safety.
Thank you for that. Moved by Councillor Boulanger, second Councillor Horvis. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, so I'm just going to take
I'm
it.
sorry, Madam
Yeah,
Mayor.
there was another
That's
further
another-
result.
Oh.
Let me just add that, and furthermore, be it resolved that the committee shall be responsible for ensuring that the public is kept informed of the progress of rehabilitation, and that any concerns or issues raised by residents are addressed in a timely and efficient manner.
Thank you for that. Are the
Apologize for that.
mover and seconder okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, so that will call that passed. So I'm going to take a little pause here. I know that the class is probably wanting to get back to the school, but I'm going to just ask, does anybody have any questions at this point in time?
No, doesn't look like it.
Quiet group today, Rita.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so thank you very much for coming in, and
No problem.
like we say, if you have any questions later, just let us know, and the website's there, the YouTube is there, and
For sure.
I
I have one quick question though.
sure.
Just out of interest. If you can tell me, what types of discussions would you have that are in camera that would not be open to the public? Like, some examples, maybe?
As part of the legislation under the Municipal Act, council is allowed to have meetings in camera to have discussions related with financial matters, related with matters of HR, or other matters that are sensitive that cannot be shared due to public and privacy concerns, and legal related issues. And so those discussions happen in camera for council to have a discussion on this. Reports are produced for council, and then, but a resolution or something to do with those matters is still brought forward in a public setting. So no, the decisions aren't made in camera, but the dialogue occurs in camera.
Right.
Sometimes with HR matters, you wouldn't share that in a public setting.
Right. HR being
Human resource
Human
related as staffing,
Yeah.
and then legal could be anything from any of the legal issues that the RM is going through, and due to legal nature of it, that we can't share it publicly yet,
Okay,
where we might provide legal update on contracts and so forth.
good, thank you.
Land.
Yes, as well as land purchase. Thank you.
Okay. Good, well, thank you for letting us observe, and see you on the 23rd with my
Great.
last group.
Yeah,
All right?
perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, so we're at, what is it, the accounts, I believe?
Yes. We have the accounts. Councillor Spicer did ask a question about one specific check. I did look into it. I haven't replied back to his email, but it was cost overruns related with safety related for one of the fire trucks.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I do have a couple of questions too, actually. And I'm sorry, I was looking at this like at 10 o'clock last night, so. One of them, and I'll ask it now, I guess with the changing over of the payroll to the new system, I see that all of the employees are still not listed on the list of accounts, nor are members of council.
Yes, and they're working at that right
Okay.
now, and it should be addressed very shortly.
Okay, then it was on page 5, there was a check to AMM for Western Financial for $250,000, and there was a number of categories listed there.
Thinking it's insurance.
Yes.
But some of those amounts are really, really large, and I was going like, why is it listed out each separately? Because I thought there was another check for insurance. I can't move my screen here. Oh, thank you. It's on page 5, so I think it's the last page of the listings here. Like, what would we be paying insurance of $27,000 on?
Is it a quarterly payment or a half year payment?
This is our annual renewal.
Could be a policy,
Is there an annual renewal?
policy payment.
Yeah, probably for,
So it's a policy payment for $27,000, but then you have another 15 items that are separate, like there's an 11,000, a 13,000, a 25,000, like,
It's because it's going to different GLs, it's one renewal, but we
Okay.
have to put it to, there's there's fire department, there's landfill.
okay,
There's equipment, there's insurance on buildings,
I
equipment.
just thought that that was a very, very large amount going to A&M for insurance. I don't ever remember it being that large before. So, okay, if that's what it is,
Any other questions, Madam Mayor?
I don't have anything else. I'm just trying to get into another spot here, so I want to. So if you want to bring the resolution forward.
Sure. Resolved, council approved the May 9th, 2023 list accounts, check numbers 23,000,59,8 to 23,000,676 in the amount of $468,851.15 for payment.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horwath, Councillor Vazzarolo seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, now we lost my, yeah, we could.
Resolved, council recess the regular meeting and go into in-camera to discuss legal and personnel issues, and further be it resolved that all matters discussed are to remain confidential as per section 83(1)(b) of the Municipal Act.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Strang seconds. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Where did Gary go?
You would,
Is
oh,
it-
they're having
is
their
it
own
about
meeting.
him?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, there was another gal there too, was she wants.
And a gentleman.
Yeah, they're here to talk about this particular subdivision.
Oh,
Do it.